Do you see the doll? Hey, you guys, it's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and you already know what time it is. We are here because I know you watched that premiere. I know you all watched that Salt Lake City premiere, okay? And that's what we're here for today. And I told you all to grab your furs and your fur hats. Welcome, you guys. We are here to talk about The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm excited. This is a brand new franchise, a brand new cast, a brand new city. We are starting from scratch. I love it. Okay? This is going to be a very fun franchise. This is going to be a very fun season. So, fun fact, this is going to be the first franchise that is starting their first season off with 12 episodes instead of 8. Okay? So, please buckle your seatbelts up for these next 12 weeks because we are in for a ride, okay? I already let you girls know that a lot of the SLC girls hit me up after they saw my trailer recap video and they are excited for me to review their show. With that being said, I'm also privy to some tea as well. And I found out from a little birdie that Salt Lake City was never supposed to be a Real Housewives franchise, okay? It was supposed to be another show. And when Bravo saw these women, they were like, hold up. I think these ladies would be better suited for Housewives. Let's make them another Housewives franchise. So, yeah, it is kind of out of the blue that Bravo would select Utah as their next, franchise. But, honey, when they saw this cast, they said, oh, this is a gold mine. These girls are going to give us something that we can feel, and yes, they are. I'm excited, y'all. I got the wine, okay? I got my good wine ready. I have to say, I think that this was one of the best new franchise premieres that I've ever seen. I think Atlanta is number one because Atlanta's season 1 premiere was explosive. It was amazing. It was fabulous. They were really good. I really enjoyed this episode, and it was really nice because it was a good hour and 15 minutes. I was like, yes. Cheers to that. So again, without further ado, let's get on into it because we have a lot to dissect and a lot to discuss because quite a few of these ladies are crazier than soup sandwiches, i.e. Mary. Miss Heather, I'm looking at you, but we gonna get into you all real shortly, okay? So sit back, relax, get a drink, get you a snack. We gonna be here for a cute minute and we're gonna have a good key. Put your fur on and let's go. We start off the episode with Jen Shah. Let me just let you guys know something right now. I called it in my first video ever when the trailer dropped. Jen Shah is the star of the show, okay? And I'm not just saying that. She's the star of the show. She is the MVP, like she says in her tagline. She's that girl of that show. Of this cast, I should say. So we start off with Jen in her chalet, honey. Not her house, a chalet. Oh, just the wealth just jumped out. I have to stand. Her husband, Sharif, is cooking breakfast. I was like, I know that's right, honey, because I know my girl don't cook. I see you. I know that's right. We learn more about Jen in her confessional. We find out that she moved to Utah when she was around 6 or 7 years old. She was actually born in Hawaii, and she's of Polynesian and Tongan descent. But in Utah, since Utah is like predominantly white, like 90% white, I read, but since it's like all white, growing up in Utah, they pretty much considered her black because it's just like you're either white or you're black. We find out that Jen's husband, Sharif, is a football coach at the University of Utah. So then we see, her sons coming down. She has an older son that's 24 and her younger son is 14. And it was just like so sweet. Like her kids were just really nice and just, it was just so fun because I've seen in other franchises, some of these kids be on camera and the kids be dull as dishwater. So it was so nice to see such sweet and well-mannered and just generally just nice children. So then we find out how Jen and her husband Sharif met, and it was so cute, their whole story. They met in college, and it was so cute because Sharif was like, when I saw her, I was just like, oh, like I want to sit next to her. Like, is this seat taken? And she was like, I guess. And like their whole banter was just so cute together. And then we find out that her husband is Muslim, and Jen was raised Mormon, but then when she asked Sharif 5 years into their marriage if he would convert to Mormonism, he was like, hell no, like, they don't like black people. And she was like, wait, what? So then she researched that and found out that, Mormonism, honey, they don't like black folks. Like they had just started liking black folks and up until like 1971. So then she was just like, well, peace out, absolutely not. And now she is converting to Islam. So I thought their whole story was just so cute. I loved it, okay? I was just getting my entire life. And it was so funny when they were eating breakfast and her sons came down and she was asking them questions like, okay, so like, you guys got girlfriends? Like, and then she asking the younger son, like, you got a girlfriend? And he was just like, no, ma'am, and yes, ma'am. It was just like so cute. She was like, have you ever kissed a girl? And he was like, no. And she was like, because if you kiss a girl, you can get herpes, you can get AIDS. And she was so dramatic. I said, Jen, don't scare that poor boy. Don't do that. But I was cracking up. It was a really cute scene. So then we get into Heather. And Heather is interesting to say the least. And I've heard some tea and rumblings about Heather that I'll probably share later on in the season. But we find out that Heather is, I guess she calls herself a purebred Mormon, like everybody in her family line dating back to, I guess, the 1800s was Mormon. We find out that she has a beauty and laser lab in Utah, and it's making a lot of money, it's doing well, and she says that her lab is valued at $20 million. Her business does well because in Mormonism, they preach that perfection is attainable. And a lot of these women who come to her salon or her beauty lab, they feel that, since perfection is attainable, well, let me get, nip tuck, lasered out so I can be perfection. So she says she makes a lot of money off of the Mormon folks who come into her salon. We find out from Heather that she was married and has 3 daughters, and she divorced. We also find out that the family that she married into were pretty much like billionaires. We get the whole backstory about how Howard Hughes, gave money to her family, gave money to her ex-husband's family. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, Heather, like, you got some big money. But we're going to see about Heather's money status, though, because I have heard some things about her finances being a little bit shaky. So I'm going to keep my good eye on you, Heather, okay? Baby, this fur is beautiful, but I am burning up. So then we kind of see her talking about how she's like grappling with her Mormon faith and how, Mormonism is it's very hard, I guess. Okay, did anybody give a side eye when Heather was like, I love rap music and I love black men and I love gay men, but it's not in alignment with the Mormon faith? And I was like, girl, I don't know why I found that statement to be like so weird and off-putting, but I just did. And I know a lot of you guys on Twitter thought that statement was kind of weird because you guys were like, wait, what? And one of my mutuals was like, I was about to turn this mess off. Heather, I have my good eye on you because I was like, what the hell you just said, girl? So the next housewife we get into is Meredith, and she is very, I guess, she's very elegant and she's very classy. And we find out that she moved to Utah about 7 years ago from Chicago with her husband. And she said that they moved because of her husband's job. She says she has 3 kids, and I think her youngest son, Brooks, he is back home. He's 21, but he's home because he took a semester off of college. Now, this is no shade, Meredith, but I kind of got that feeling like your son took off a semester of college because he wanted to be on this show. He was like, no, baby, I want the spotlight. Because even Meredith was like, you know, I love having him home because he does my makeup, and what's better than that? And I was like, But I love it, though. I love to see, you know, listen, a lot of these kids of these housewives, they be loving that camera, child. They want that spotlight. They want some celebrity. And I ain't mad at it. I am not mad at it, but I thought it was just really funny. So Meredith lets us know that she has a really successful jewelry business, and she has a very large celeb following. She names drops a few of the celebs that she, you know, gives pieces to, and they are Rihanna, Charlize Theron, just like a lot of A-list folks. And I was like, okay, Meredith, come on, get it, girl. I liked Meredith. I thought she was cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to give everybody a fair shot. I'm going to let you all know, though, who I do not like. And we're going to get into that in like a few more minutes, but just wait. The next gal that we see is Lisa Barlow. We find out that Lisa is a New York native, and she moved to Utah because she went to college out in Utah. Lisa says that she is not, she didn't grow up religious. And when she, I guess, came to Utah, like she said, a Mormon missionary knocked on her door. And so she and her mother ended up converting. She said that she was Jewish by heritage. So I said, oh, okay. So she was, I guess, Jewish and then converted to Mormonism. We find out also that Lisa has 2 sons because we see the scene. She's waking both of the boys up, I guess, for school. We find out that she owns a luxury marketing firm along with a tequila brand with her husband. And so she was naming all the tequilas. Like, I know you've heard of this tequila, that tequila. And I was like, girl, I ain't never heard of none of your tequilas. I mean, they look good. And that's no shade, Lisa. But I was like, you know, I never heard of your stuff, girl. But if you want to send me some tequilas, girl, please send some over because we love tequila over here. And I love trying a new tequila. So please, girl, send them over to me. So we see Jen rolling up to Heather's beauty salon, and she's getting like the Botox for her underarms. So, cause you know, Botox for your underarms, you don't sweat anymore. Okay, I've been looking into that because I really want that because I will sweat like so much. I will sweat through a shirt. Like, it's awful. Like, so many times, that's why you guys will see me sleeveless like in the wintertime on camera, because I'm like, I will sweat through a long sleeve blouse. Like, okay, like, it's terrible. So I was like, I need that. Like, I need them Botox shots under these underarms. I'm gonna get that. But, you know, we see Jen there. She's getting those shots. And then after she's done, they have some champagne and they are talking about Meredith's birthday. And so Jen is like, you know, we should do something for Meredith's birthday. Like, what do you think she would like? And so Jen is like, you know, let's do it, you know, at my chalet, and I'll have some male strippers there. And it's like, it's going to be big and extravagant. And you can already tell off of Jen's personality that it's going to be a very lavish affair, okay? It's going to be big. It's not going to be no little demure dinner, you know, with the ladies who lunch crowd. Absolutely not. So the next housewife, I'm still on the fence with her. Whitney Rose. And it's the day of her wedding. And we find out that her new husband is 18 years older than her. And they met in the office. They had a very torrid love affair. And they were both married to other people. And they met each other and it was just love at first sight, I guess, child. So then we also find out that Heather and Whitney are cousins. And Whitney, since divorce is kind of like unheard of in the Mormon religion, when Whitney, got divorced from her first husband, and when it was found out that she and her now husband, Justin, were having an affair together, they were excommunicated from the Mormon church. So now she's not even like Mormon anymore. She's just like over it. So we find out that not only was she excommunicated, but a lot of her family like really did not speak to her. We see that during the wedding reception, you saw like in the stairwell, one of her cousins was like, hey, Whitney, I just want to say I'm sorry. And, like, I'm happy for you. And she's like, I appreciate that. So then in the confessional, we see that Whitney is happy, but she's also resentful that her family is taking so long to come around and like accept her again into the fold, because she's kind of like, you guys could have been by my side this whole entire time. And so, I can understand her feeling like a way about it, because that would kind of suck to be excommunicated from like the church and then be excommunicated from like your own family. I mean, Whitney's dad looked like a really radical guy. If I saw him on the street, I would not think he was Mormon. I was like, that's Whitney's dad? Like, what? So then we see a cute little scene with Jen and one of her assistants. I think he's her first assistant, Stuart, and he is her personal assistant and her business assistant, she said. So they're in the car, honey. They're in the Porsche. He's driving. She's in the passenger seat. And they're trying to finalize the details for Meredith's birthday party. And he's like, well, I got this cake, some chocolate and raspberry. And Jen was like, but wait, do you even know if she likes chocolate and raspberry? And he doesn't really know. So then we see Meredith, and Meredith is having a little vegetable tray, and she has some, champagne, and she has some little finger food. And we see that she is expecting Lisa and Jen to come over. But Lisa shows up first, and it was funny. They were talking about how they met and how people mistake them as like sisters or cousins because they do look alike. Yeah, I was kind of getting confused during the episode, like, wait, which one is Lisa? Which one is Meredith? Because yeah, you guys both favor. So Jen arrives, and let me tell you something right now. Jen showed up looking, I said, I know that's right. I mean, it was snowing, and she had on those gorgeous stilettos. I asked her who those shoes were by. They're by D Squared, if anybody wants to know them. I want to know because I want those shoes. But yeah, gorgeous. So she comes moseying on in, honey, to Meredith's house, and they're having a key and just talking. And it was funny because Jen was talking about her relationship with Lisa and how they're really cool. And then she also said that Lisa is considered the Sundance queen. Like when it's the Sundance Film Festival, Lisa knows lottie-dottie everybody and can get you a ticket to all the hottest parties. So I was like, oh, that's good to know. Then we find out what Jen first thought about Meredith. She thought Meredith was very just, hello, how are you doing? She was imitating her like, oh, I'm Meredith. Like, it was very funny. I said, I can see that from Meredith. I definitely got those vibes from Meredith. But Meredith also gives me down to earth. Like, you know what Meredith gives me? Meredith gives me Heather Dubrow from Real Housewives of OC. If you remember Heather Dubrow is very much, hello, darling. It's only champagne. Like, I loved Heather. Heather was one of my favorites. Loved her. But I digress. So then Meredith and Lisa ask Jen the details about the big party that Jen is throwing for Meredith. And, Jen is like, oh, it's going to be a little cute affair, like a dinner party. And they're all looking at her like, girl, why are you even going to tell that lie? Like, we know you lying. Like, it's going to be some big extravagant event. Like, stop it. So they're talking and chatting, and then somehow the conversation gets to Heather. And Lisa's like, I don't know her. Like, she pulls a full-blown Mariah Carey, like, I don't know her. I just met her recently. Like, yes, we went to college together, but like, I did not know her in college. And then she makes a few jokes saying that Heather was the good time girl in college. And so Jen is laughing. And then they play a flashback of when Jen and Heather went to lunch together. And Heather's like, yeah, I've known Lisa for like 20 years and we were really good friends and da-da-da-da-da. And it was kind of like, now Heather, how does that make sense? How are you saying that y'all knew each other from way back and Lisa's like, I don't know you? It was giving very much Nene and Phaedra when Phaedra was like, I know Nene, I know her. And Nene was like, I don't know you. Like, we both from Athens, but I don't know you. I never knew you. Like, let's not. I was cracking up. We're going to talk about this scene. We see Whitney, and she is having lunch with Mary Cosby. When Mary got in front of my TV screen and said that their marriage was an arranged marriage and it was in her grandmother's will, I said, Mary, what you won't do is lie to me and the good people at home, because that's a bold-faced lie. There was no arrangement. Your uncle told me that you sought after your step-grandfather because your first husband didn't have the money that you wanted. And when your grandma passed, you saw the opportunity to get the money. And you did. You secured the bag. Your uncle told me, which I told you all, that one day he went to Robert Cosby's house, his stepfather's house, and he was told that you and Robert Cosby were getting married. And that was that. And it's funny because your mother was not here for it. Nobody in the family was here for that. I was like, girl, why are you lying? Like, why are you sitting up here telling these tall tales, sis? If you have not watched my video of me talking about Mary Cosby and that whole marriage and the whole mess, go back to that video and just watch it. And we can see that you love money because you name drop every 5 seconds about what you're wearing. I mean, I love designer stuff. I love nice things. I love luxury goods. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I'll never deny that. But I'm not going to sit up here and be like, this is Dolce & Gabbana. This is from Saks. This is from Neiman Marcus. This is, David Yurman. Who does it? That's so tacky. Like, that is so tacky and it's so gauche. It's so nouveau riche. It's so déclassé. Like, who does that? And then in your confessional, when you were like, I love this blazer, not because it's Dolce & Gabbana, but because it makes me happy. It's like, you just couldn't help yourself, could you? I have a lot of videos coming up, y'all, because several members from Mary's church, they have reached out to me and they want Mary to be exposed, okay? She is delusional. When Mary said she doesn't like being called a pastor because it makes her feel like an old lady, I said, girl, if you don't get out of my face, then I know something. So then Whitney says, did you get like a text from Jen? Like, Jen texted me about a party that they're having for Meredith. And so Mary is like, no, like, I didn't get a text. I'm probably not going to be invited because, Jen doesn't like me. Then we find out the backstory of why Jen and Mary have friction. And we find out that Mary and Jen used to be friends. They were really cool. We see a little clip of them in Jen's closet. She's showing her some Louboutins, and I think she gifts the Louboutins to Mary. So then we find out that Jen and her and a whole bunch of other friends went out to dinner. And Jen was in the hospital with her aunt, and her aunt was getting her legs amputated. So we find out she was in the hospital with her aunt like all week, and then she came to join the ladies for dinner. And Mary made a really snide remark like, she smells like the hospital. Like, oh, girl, she smells like the hospital. And she said that she has a very sensitive nose and it made her nauseous. But like, you know, she said it and she just says things that come to mind. So we see that Mary is not remorseful about saying that Jen smelled like the hospital. I was like, oh, Mary, girl. I was like, Mary is about to be working all of our nerves this entire season. Like, I hope you all know that. And like, not to be super petty, but like, Mary's voice drives me absolutely insane. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It's like she literally has marbles in her mouth. I was like, girl, can you enunciate? Can you speak up, girl? Like, it's like she's mumbling. She's like, yeah, because I was like, girl, what are you saying? You look at Mary, it's like the lights are on, but nobody's home. It's like, hello, it's like rocks in her brain. That's literally what it feels like. Like listening to her speak was painful. I was like, oh my gosh, girl. So then we see Miss Jen, and she is setting up for the party. Now, Jen is better than me because I would have had that party at a hotel and called it a day, or just rented out a restaurant. But no, honey, I mean, Jen is going all out. She is having it at her chalet. And she like had all the movers come to get the furniture out. Like she's about to make this into a very fun space for the party. So she's like, gets her microphone out and she's giving orders. So Heather comes to help out with the party. So then Heather and Jen end up like going away from the rest of the crowd. And Jen lets Heather know that Lisa told her when they met up that she doesn't know Heather. So Heather is like beyond offended. She's like, wait, what? Like, she says she doesn't know me? Like, what am I, some kind of loser or something? And then we find out that Heather is really like low-key insecure when it comes to Lisa, because she was acting like so pressed to me. She was like, you know, Lisa thinks that she's better than me. She just gives off that impression that like she thinks I'm a loser and whatnot. And it was kind of like, girl, I don't think it's that deep. Like sometimes people just don't remember you, or they don't like know you, and it's no shade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought that she was doing the most with it. I mean, don't let anybody ever see you pressed. Please don't ever let anybody see you pressed for their friendship or for whatever. Like, just be cool. Like, I would have just played it off like, okay, she doesn't know me. Like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know her either. Like, Heather would not let it go. I was like, girl, who are you? Wendy from Potomac? Because, you know, Wendy doesn't let stuff go either. Jen tells her that Lisa said that she was a good time girl. And so Heather was like, what? Me? I was a good time girl? Like, no, I wasn't. Like, I wish I was a good time girl because, you know, I was still a virgin when I was married. Like, what? I was like the proper Mormon girl. Like, I wish I was a good time girl. I was like, Heather, girl, it's not that deep. Calm down. Like, relax, please. So it's the day of the party, and we see Brooks, that is Meredith's youngest son, who's staying with them. And he's like placing all these nice rose petals out in the living room. It was just really beautiful. So he FaceTimes the dad. He's like, you know, Dad, I did it. You know, looks nice. Check it out. And when the son said that he didn't know who Prince was, I was like, wait, whoa. Time out. Meredith, what are you teaching your son? How does he not know who Prince is? He better know who Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston are. Does he know who Beyonce is? I was like, how do you not know who Prince is? Baby, these new 20 and 21-year-olds are something else, okay? That really disturbed my spirit when I heard that. So then Meredith comes out. She's like, oh, this is so beautiful. This is really nice. And then she FaceTimes her husband, and she's like disappointed that he's not there because he's in Chicago for business. Now, let me just say, I would have a problem if my husband was not home for my birthday. I'm hoping that there is nothing, wrong with their marriage. But I think that that's a little bit alarming to me if your spouse is not there for your birthday. Like, I think that that's just that's alarming to me. That's all I'm going to say. But Miss Meredith, we're going to keep watching you and your husband. But that's very alarming that he's not there. So then we also find out that Meredith is older than her husband by a few months, and she's 48 years old. I have to say, Meredith looks good for 48. She looks very, very good. I said, okay, Meredith, because I thought Meredith was going to say that she was maybe like 39, 40. And I was like, okay, like she looks very well preserved for 48. Not that 48 is old, but I said, okay, girl, okay, come through. So now it is the night of the big party. And everybody's showing up. And, we see Jen. Jen is getting dressed and all fixed up. We're going to talk about that in a minute, Jen. Jen, I'm going to talk to you in a minute about this party that you threw for Miss Meredith, okay? So there's a red carpet and a step and repeat, and they have a beautiful flower wall. The flower wall was so pretty. And it was funny because it says Shah Chalet, and that is Shah meaning Jen Shah, because y'all know Shah is her last name. So everybody gets there. Everybody's looking all, nice. Heather, I didn't love that dress, but we're going to keep going. I thought Mary's outfit looked terrible. I don't know what she was wearing. I loved Meredith's outfit. She had that pink fur. I was living. I got my entire life with that. It looked gorgeous. So she comes with her son as her date. Lisa gets there. I thought Lisa looked good. I thought Jen looked good. But Meredith, when she got there, she was just like, it says Shah Chalet. And Meredith was kind of like, okay, like, you would think it would be a little bit more about me since it's my birthday. So everybody is there and they're all waiting for Jen. They're like, well, where's Jen? Where's Jen? So then Heather pulls, I guess, Meredith to the side. She's like, well, I'm gonna wait for Lisa to say hi to me since she doesn't know me. And it's like, Heather, let it go. It's a birthday party. Like, put that to the side, please, please, girl. So then Jen finally comes out, child. She makes her grand entrance, and Lisa and Meredith are like, I would not expect somebody else to make a grand entrance at somebody else's birthday party, but that's just me. Now, Jen, I love you down, but girl, you were wrong. You were wrong making that entrance like that. It's supposed to be all about Meredith, girl. It's her birthday. And that was very nice of you to throw a party, but girl, you can't do that, child. Because, I would be a little bit annoyed too. Like, it's supposed to be all about me. And you making it all about you. And you can't do that. Because it was Meredith's day. But your heart was in the right place at that party, though. But I said, Jen, you can't do that next time, girl. You can't do that. And then Jen brought out the Tongan dancers. And the producers were like, what do Tongan dancers have to do with Meredith? And even Jen was like, I don't really know. It's really about me. I said, Jen, you ain't right. So then Jen and Mary get to talking. And Mary's asking, like, are we good? And Jen brings up the comment that Mary made about her smelling like a hospital. So then Mary's like, I just get a very visceral reaction about hospitals because, I had 12 surgeries on my, like, what did she say? She said her glands, her odor glands. I don't know what she said, but she said she had 12 surgeries. Now here's some tea for you guys. An ex-member of the church emailed me and let me know that Mary did indeed have surgeries, but it was not any medical surgeries. It was surgery for her nose. They said Mary came back to that church 3 shades lighter, half a nose, And if you look at old pictures of Mary, you'll see that Mary was darker. And now you see her looking like Sammy Sosa. And her nose is chopped in half. I said, girl, a mess. But anyhow, Mary's going on and on about 12 surgeries. And so Jen is like, that was really offensive to me, Mary, because, my aunt was like a mother to me and she like raised me. And so Mary's looking like, I don't care what it got to do with me. And Jen is like, she had both her legs amputated. And Mary's just not getting it. Mary was just so like flippant about it. She was just kind of like, in her confessional, she was like, what does it have to do with me? Her legs getting amputated. Like, that means she has a bad diet. That means she's diabetic. Like, okay, and she's 60 years old getting her legs amputated. Like, okay, she got a bad diet. And then, Jen brings her friend Carrie over, and Carrie confirms, like, Mary, you did say that about Jen. So then Mary starts playing dumb, acting like she doesn't remember what she said, and just acting like so rude. She dismisses Jen's friend Carrie. It's like, girl, you can get out of my face. You can go. We end the episode with it being to be continued. Let me tell you something right now. Mary is a full-blown basket case, okay? The woman looks and sounds like a sociopath. Like, she has no grip on reality. Like, I was like, wow. Child, this season is going to be a mess, okay? We are really in for a treat. We are in for some grade A drama that you guys don't want to miss. This is different from any other Housewives franchise ever. And I hope you all enjoyed this review. I had a really great time giving y'all this, okay? So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have your furs ready for these next 12 weeks. I'm going to be bringing it. I have a lot more videos to do, guys. I keep telling y'all, a lot of people have been blowing up my phone and they want to give me the inside scoop on Mary Cosby. So you'll be getting a lot more Mary Cosby exclusive tea videos, okay? So y'all know what to do. We are here. Salt Lake City, welcome, okay? We are excited to have you. You guys knocked it out the park for this premiere, and I'm very excited. All right, guys. Bye.